but that's what I'm going to do right now. And I'm ready to go live. I don't see anybody. Oh, I do see a couple of folks here. Hold on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get going. I'm going to go ahead and go. Say, guys, first of all, I want to say to everybody out there, welcome to the MLS Bitcoin Club. This is going to be more of us talking or me giving you a short, quick talk, and then we're going to just move into any highlights that we may have to get going. So first thing I want to say is we got a brand new person that got their policy, which is Gene. I did not forget you, Gene. I will be sending that to you tonight to getting you squared away with your policy. I just came back from town. I was out of town. I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I got to go there now and then to look after my mother-in-law. She's in her 80s. So we get there to go get a chance to spend time with her and stuff like that. So, but definitely it's something for us to do. Let's talk about this. What I want to talk about today. Today, I want to talk about when you're creating wealth or on the journey to create wealth. The money, literally, when you're starting to create money, the money will come in and stop and go around and stop, but you gotta be multifaceted. You have to be a multifaceted person when it's time for you to start making money. You cannot be a one pony show. And what do I mean by being a one pony show? Okay. If you're in a club, if you're in something that you are not putting your whole effort into, I don't care if it's Bitcoin, I don't care if it's in real estate, I don't care if it's in travel, I don't care if it's in tea companies, whatever you happen to be in. If you're not putting forth your entire efforts into growing that business, then you are cheating yourself on a day-to-day basis. You have to get yourself to move towards your goals every single week. Every week you gotta keep moving. You can't stop. Financial freedom does not come to the people who are weary. It comes to the people who are being present in the search for financial freedom every single day. Some of you feel bad about selling things, like your time is worth money. Some of you give your time away like it's free. Your time is not free. Some of you give your services away for free. You live in a capitalist society. In other words, you have to make money for you to start growing financial freedom. There is no other way to do it, unless you're going to be on welfare, right? If you're going to be on welfare, that's a whole different conversation. But if you want to grow your finances, if you want to grow your finances, you must charge for your time. You must charge for your services. You must. You got to get out of the mindset that I was talking to somebody, and people says, well, you know, my time is not the cheapest. Just straight up front, my time is not the cheapest, and I understand that, and I'm willing to pay your time. When I got my policy done, which I could have wrote my own policy by being an insurance agent, I could have wrote my own policy, but I needed the person to teach me how to write the proper policies, because there's a lot of stuff out there to thinking that you know what you're doing, and there's so much crap on the internet until you find the right person to walk you through the proper way of doing policy. So what I did, I said, listen, I'm gonna give you my policy. So I did $100,000 policy with him, 100 grand, and I said, he said, you serious? Like, he was like shocked that I did. I said, no. I said, you don't understand what you're doing for me and my community. I said, the biggest challenge is I could have got this infinite banking system done years ago. They wanted my money, but they didn't want to teach me. You got it? You with me? You understand what I'm saying? They wanted my money. They wanted me to sign up with them, but they did not want to teach me, even though I was an agent, a licensed agent. They didn't want to teach me. They want to keep it in the good old boys, keep it in good old boys room. So I waited until I finally got somebody that's, you know what, he said, hey man, come on, no, I got you. I said, you know what, for you doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and right? I could have wrote a $2,000 policy with him, turn around and did another 100,000 for myself. I said, nope, I'm going to do that with you, and I'm going to get another policy later. I'm ready to get a key man policy. Some of you know what that is. That means your business has a policy, right? Under your CEO, your business is going to control the different infrastructure. It's going to write a policy under the company's name, and I'm going to build it another $300,000 to $400,000 for that. Cash flow comes to the people who are being innovative. So it's not just looking at one thing and that's it. You gotta build your cash flow, because sometimes you're gonna fall into a trap of I'm so good, I got all this. But I remember the day that I put in, we was in this business and we put some big money on the kitchen table. Some of you know my story. You put a big money on the kitchen table. And at the same time, I was having people that I was going back and getting them squared away. So I had given back like $45,000 and was helping a lot of different people get stuff done in that field. So, money comes to you in cycles. And depending on what your business is, or in my situation, businesses, so I got more than one businesses. Then when one cycle slows down, the other cycle picks up. You got it? Same thing when it comes to insurance, MLS Bitcoin Club. If I'm doing credit, like we're in credit now, we helping people get their credit scores good, getting their stuff going, the extreme credit. Just a lot of things we got going on in the fire to keep everything going. We got 10 levels for a reason. The reason I could have made it 3 levels. I could have made it 5 levels. I made it 10. Somebody asked me too, says, why you made it 10 levels? Because it is a place that you can grow, and you get to a point when you get to level 9, that is now the biggest whirlwind you're going to ever experience. And what do I mean by that? The cash flow on that level is over $250,000. Just one payout is $250,000. So $500,000, $750,000, $1 million is nothing if you are in this system that we're in. But the reason for that level is so that we, as a community, can actually start doing real estate, as you probably see in different cultures, different places online. Like you listen to Grant Cardone, listen to Robert Kiyosaki. It's all about real estate, right? It's all about real estate. And the more units, the more doors that you have control of in that real estate arena, you are building a fortune for the future. So let me give you an example. We had said like 7,000 units. You're averaging $200 cash flow. First of all, let's define what the cash flow represents. So if I say cash flow, that means expenses or liabilities and cash that's coming in. So you got liabilities, right? And distributions of cash flow coming in equals how much cash flow you're going to equal to. So when the bills are paid, in other words, when the assets come in and all of a sudden you owe this much money, which just means it's a lot, you got to pay this expense. I got to pay, for example, maintenance fees. I got to pay for apartments getting clean, windows being broken, toilets being broken, or whatever, drainage, maintenance, right? All that good stuff. So when all that stuff is paid and we have a balance of $200 per unit, we got 7,000 units. I'm going to do that right now. So 7,000 units, for example, times $200, you do it, that's $1,400 a month. I'm sorry, $1.4 million a month. $1.4 million a month. So when you think about that, that's being split amongst the members that can actually be in that group, right? That's not that you can't do that with people looking at only $20,000, right? Their whole goal is to make $20,000 a year. You can't make that kind of money. Your limitation in cash flow is based on your expansion of your brain. What do you want to put? What do you want to put the effort into when you're growing your wealth? See, a lot of us are getting older, right? A lot of us are getting older, and a lot of us are falling behind financially because we're getting older. You're not going to have the same energy in your 60s as you did in your 30s. Some of us is in the 30s, some of us in the 40s, right? Some of us a little older, 50s, some get ready to go into the 60s, right? So when do you get your run going? Like when do you ever get your run financially going? Some of you are taking it too easy for your run. You're in slow motion. I'm just being real with you today. A lot of you are in slow motion. You're not, you're taking your time, you're doing this, you're making the calls, you're coming in. But in reality, ask yourself, are you moving in the right direction fast enough for you to find your freedom? Do you have to work? Because I was talking to this person today. I said, do you have to work until you reach the age of 65, 70 years old? Do you have to continue to keep working your entire life just so you can come out with maybe, I don't know, $5,000 a month, if you're lucky, $5,000 a month? Is that your ultimate goal of calling financial freedom? And some of us are not going to even make it 5,000 months when it's time to retire. There are so many people that are retiring that are going to get another job. And it's a shame, especially in this time frame that we're in now with what they call the information technology phase. We are now taking the information technology phase in our history, and it's coming to an AI phase, an artificial intelligence phase. And that's what we got going on right now. So we're developing the software to help us to use robots to help us do a lot of different things. And so the people are getting ready to lose a lot of jobs. I mean, if you saw the news lately, they got a robot that's going to be driving self-driving tractor rigs, big rigs, like trucks, tractor trailer trucks, 18-wheelers being ran without a driver. That is being developed right now. Just think about America. America runs everything in our economy is run from one location to another location. It's going to be in a truck. It goes from planes, it goes from railroad to a truck to get it to its last destination. And those jobs in the future won't be here. It'll be ran by driverless people. Nobody's driving the vehicles. And that's just one stage of it. Secretary's doing, you're gonna be able to talk to your computers to tell it what you want to do. So your appointments is they're working on this right now. If you listen to the Google, what they're developing right now, Microsoft, they got this thing called assistants, Google Assistants, right? And what that's doing is learning your behaviors, and they doing this for a reason, so that eventually it's going to already know what you need. It's going to say, bring up documentation. It's going to be doing the documentations. We talk about these smart contracts. We talk about looking at cryptocurrency. Ethereum, the whole program of Ethereum is dealing with smart contracts. It's going to do all the work that lawyers would normally do, and it's going to do the work through a smart contract. It's going to put the information out there to the individual. They look at it, they get it, they sign it off on it. It goes back. The payments are paid in between, and it's all done by Ethereum. This stuff is in years in play, but they're working on it. So the question is, how fast are you learning new technology, or how fast are you maximizing your cash flow, so that when that transition does come into play, instead of you looking for a job that may not exist unless you are a greeter, Walmart greeters and stuff like that. I'm seeing a lot of old people working in Walmart now. They're in their 60s, 70s trying to box up, trying to put stuff up in the boxes, trying to put stuff up on the shelves. Is that really what you really want to do in your 60s and your 70s, right? Are you going to teach
No.
until the age of 100? Like, I'm going to be a teacher to the age of 100. You can't deal with these kids to the age of 100. I'm just being real with you. So it's a lot of things happening that I'm just trying to bring up the light on to let you know, where we have to go. Trading is a thing that we also teach within our communities, right? We teach you how to trade in the markets. Slow is always good until you get going, until you master what you're trying to do. Blowing out an account in your trading is common. It's not something that's uncommon. It's very common to blow an account out because you're being too aggressive. It happens to me, right? It happens to me. So you got to say, hey, slow down. I don't want to lose my account. So slow down. Do one lots, right? Smaller trades. Maximize the trade that you're on. Maximize it. When the trade is starting to rock in a certain direction, whether up or down, we're going to make money on it and just rock it out, right? But we also teach you to throw your money. I was listening to, a few people that's talking about, real estate is the way to be for the long-term goal, 30, 40 years. Okay, so look at your policies that we're teaching you to get. Your policies, some of your policies are too small. I know they're too small. They're too small. But think about the cash flow that you can make in your policy over a 30-year period. Let me give you an example, what I'm talking about. Let me go, and I'm going to bring it up real quick. I'm just going to share my screen because it was interesting with, what people say about finances and becoming financially free. And a lot of people are broke and will question you on how everything works. It's good to learn everything how it works, but if you still don't take action on it, you still don't have anything, right? You don't have anything. So all the knowledge in the world is cool, but if you're not doing nothing with it, with the knowledge in all the world, you still don't have anything. And I just want to make sure that you get what I'm saying. Let me go ahead and go to this policy. Hold on for 1 second here. I'm gonna go to this policy. Okay. Where are we at? Here we go. Guardian. I'm bringing up my own policy here. Okay. So you can see this. And I do this on occasion because you got to understand what's going on. All right, let me share my screen with you. So where we at? Here we go. Share my screen. All right. Y'all should see my screen now. Correct? Everybody see my screen? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, got my screen. Okay. So y'all know this is my it's my policy. And the deal is, if I bought me a house, let's break this down a little bit. If I bought me a house, okay, I bought me a house and I spent, let's just say $50,000 down payment. House cost $250,000, and I put this money down, maybe $20,000. I don't know. I put the money down, and the house, if I rent this house out, it would pay me somewhere close to $1,400 to $1,500 a month. So I got to get a lot of houses for me to make that kind of money, right? I got to get me a lot of houses. I got to get, for me to make $1,500, I'm just going to say $1,400 a rent per rent. And I want to make, close to $1 million. So let's do this times 10. So 10 houses, that's 14,000. That's a month, 14,000 a month. But if I want to get to the millions, I'm probably need about 500 houses times $1,400 a month. I'm at $700,000 a month coming in. That's a lot of bread that I got to put out there, right? That's a lot to make $700,000 a month. Okay. So if I had a policy, give me an example. Here's $10,000 going in, 10,000 going in, and then I'm going to actually put in $100,000 a year into this policy. Well, in 5 years, I got $500,000. I got $500,000. I could use this money to keep growing and growing and growing. And my policy may be 1.4 million. Mine is 1.4 million. This is not the right one. This is my first illustration. That's when I was being real creative to do some other things, but I wasn't putting everything in place. But this is like just say I got, if I die, the death benefit, I don't really care about. That's only when I die. People ask me as well, they said, well, if you're going to get that kind of money coming in, and I'm already at this number. I'm about, $20,000, $30,000 from this number right here, $85,000. And the policy got started in February. And it's already close to being this number. That I'm using the money over and over and over again. And I'm moving money into the funds, and I'm using the money. And then next year, I'll dump in another 100,000. And that's going to be $184,000 that's going to be in the policy, but I'm using the money over and over and over again. I'm doing multiple loans and paying back the money. And what I'm doing now, I'm not even paying back the loan yet. What I'm doing now is just throwing money into the policy. And at the end of the year, which is January, I'm going to start paying back the $85,000. And then the rest of the year, I'm adding another 100,000 into the policy. So it's going to be over, 100, 200 and some $1,000 going to be in there. And then I'm having what they call another policy, which is called a key man policy, which is for the corporation, right? Teach you how to get a corporation. And that's going to be about $300,000. So if I do $300,000 a year, let me ask you a question for you members in there. If it says 300,000 right here, 300,000, how much is the premium that I have to pay? $30,000. That's it, 30,000. So the rest of the money is going to be in what? It's going to be in cash. So you talk about something that might be $230,000, $267,000 available in cash just off the key man policy. The next year, another 300,000 going in. You're probably asking yourself, how in the hell are you making this kind of money? Well, let me say this to you. When you have so many deals going on, when you're out there making things happen in real estate, making things happen. If I sell a piece of property, if I go in there and do this or make this relationship with somebody else, and we got this money coming in and we growing. See, your business, when you got a business, your business is going to have relationships. Relationships must be monetized. That's why I started this conversation off with, you can't give your time away for free. You cannot feel guilty about getting paid. You cannot feel guilty about getting paid. You have to overcome that. So in 5 years, you had 500,000 just off this one policy. Another policy that, the key man policy will be somewhere close to 900,000 or close to $1 million. So you got $1 million here. What can't you do? If you want to be stupid and go buy you a Bentley, you could do it. What can't you do? This is all passive income coming in. This is the true meaning of passive income. Why do we say that? Because the guaranteed values is 4% plus the dividend. And so far, the dividend for the last 2 years with this company is 5.85%. So I'm making 5.85% off those dollars. And that's being compounded every single year. Every single year, the money just keeps growing, keeps growing, keeps growing. And I'm dumping it in there for the next 10 years. I'm dumping in $100,000 into this one policy. And you probably say to yourself, $100,000 is a whole lot of money. It's $100,000 is pennies if you're creative. But if you just sitting on your butt and waiting for the next, if you are waiting to make money, you are not being strong enough to get motivated enough to push the cash flow to you. I was looking at an event the other day and I was talking about making $1,000 a day. You can learn to create $1,000 a day or average $1,000 a day, right? So for example, if you brought in on one deal, if you brought in $30,000, you average $1,000 a day for 30 days. You see where I'm going with this? There are people out here that make $1,000 a day. I mean, a day, because of the stuff they learned, the stuff they can promote. Just name some of the things that you can promote within this club besides credit repair, trading, cryptocurrency, learning to get into credit, learning to build solo 401k plans, learning to build, just helping people to get moving in the right direction. You got so many things you can offer just off this thing that we do inside this club, besides anything else that you do. Some of you may be in publishing, some of you may be in teachers. Let's take you teachers. Don't you know that you could put together a course of English and sell it online? How to write a proper sentence and just help people become better writers. You could sell it online. That could be a class you could put together online, put it into a funnel, put it into some different things that you can throw it into. Some of you are experts in farming. I look at Rick. Rick's an expert in farming. He can teach you how to grow, how the proper way to grow corn, or the proper way to grow whatever, right? That's his expertise. Big Al can give a class to new, he can put together a class, because Big Al used to be in the post office. So he can give a class on his expertise, what he used to do for 20, 30 years, and put that in a training. And all the people that work in the post office will take that training, can learn about it, and so they can get better in the post office. Josephine, she's got travel, right? Can learn, teach people about travel and how to get the best travel deals. That could be training that you guys can put together. Here's a good one. Rhonda Kay. She used to do, or still does, what is it? I want to say grants, how to do grants. You know what I mean? People would take the class and learn how to do a grant, and you can make 5 different classes, like they can elevate in each level. And that could be an online course, and you could charge $1,000 a course and they would buy it. I'm telling you, it is phenomenal what you can do if you are an expert in whatever you do. You are an expert, and that expertise, that you're just not monetizing it. That's the new world we live in now. You got to monetize everything that you do. So hopefully this little talk today can give you some inspiration to go out there. Just take a little bit of things that I do, like learn how to trade, right? I got well over 2,000 hours of trading that I can just put into different classes and sell them for $497, $1,500, $2,500, and just let people buy them on the outside and just send me funds off that class. And people really learn. And then the next one to buy it. The next, you can imagine how much cash flow it could be generating. You could throw that money into your policies. It's not just making the money. The money's gonna come, but you gotta be able to warehouse the money. This is what's taught by Nelson Nash. If you don't know who Nelson Nash is, he was one of the creators of the way we think about the privatized banking today. He's the one that really put it on the map. He wasn't the creator, but he was the one that really put it on the map for us to learn how to warehouse your cash flow. That's the problem. We send our money to, as soon as we get the money coming in, we send it out to bills. Everybody's sending money out to bills instead of taking the money and throw it into the policy. It's not you get the money or you put into your policy or you pay the bill with it. No, it's an and. You put it into the policy, and once you get in the policy, you get it back out and you pay the bill. This way, you're warehousing the money that it constantly grows for the rest of your life. If you can talk to somebody to teach you the proper way how to blend the policy. Most people think about insurance, they thinking about it as a death benefit only. I need to get $1 million in coverage, and whatever that costs me. That's the old way of thinking about insurance. The new way to think about insurance is I need to build a $500,000 or $1 million cash value so I can use that money for the rest of my life. Whatever the death benefit is, I don't care, but it's going to keep growing anyway. Every PUA dollar, every dollar that goes into PUA is purchasing more insurance. So when you pass away, the money that's in cash value does not go to the family, but the death benefit does go to the family. But every time you purchase, you put more money in your cash value, it's adding additional money to your death benefit. So you're not losing any money. You're not losing at all. The family doesn't lose the money. They get the money in the death benefit, okay? Minus the loans that you got out, if you got any loans out at all. But you should be using your policy to make loans. You don't have to take a loan out to just throw money into your cash value. You don't have to do that. That's a lot of videos you see online. People say, well, if you learn to pay yourself back, what you talking about? All you got to do is put it into your PUA. Just to keep throwing the money into your PUA. It's going to grow. You're going to max it. You're going to max it out. Get to the point where you can max out your PUA. And then let's go get another one. Get another policy and do it the younger you are. Don't wait till you get 70, 75, 80 years old. You want to try to get it done in your 20s if it's all possible. In your 20s. For you people that got grandchildren, you want to get it done now. While they just was born yesterday, you want to get a policy on them on the day of their birth. Get a policy. That's awesome. You can start doing that. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. You think this talk today was good? Cool. Talk to me. Y'all talk to me right now. Y'all want to do some shout outs? Go ahead and shout out to the people. I'm shutting up. You talk to me now. Talk to us on Facebook, YouTube.
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cecilia. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, Cecilia, how you doing?
I'm all right. It's hot. Oh my God. It's so humid, but I'm doing great. I just wanted to say hello and thank you again for talking. And I like the idea of monetizing, monetizing our specialties.
That's me. I'm sorry.
It helps to know what you're talking about when you go out there and put it into play. And I just think it's a great idea and it gives us an edge. I like the idea of selling our strong points. I like the idea of monetizing everything. And I'm learning that with every dollar, we got to make every dollar work for us as slaves. And all of my money is making money for me now. And it's limited right now, but I expect growth and I see the changes that is coming from. It's a perk to that infinite banking system too that you didn't tell us about. And I never noticed it when you were showing us your policy, but when you pay back toward your loan, you also get interest added to your account for paying it back. So I'm making money off of borrowing money from myself.
Absolutely. Because remember, when you get a loan, they're gonna charge you interest, right? So let's say, for example, every $10,000, you gotta pay $500. So that's 5%. You're paying $500. So as you're paying back the loan, remember that $500 is if you keep the loan out for the entire year. If you keep the loan out the entire year, you gotta pay $500. But if you start to pay back the loan prior to that, then they can't charge you $500.
That's right.
Give you the money back.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. So what you've been learning since you've been using the policy now? What is one of the best things that you figured out? Like, this is it. Why is this so? Why you see now your life is moving in a whole different financial plan? What's going on with it? Talk to me.
Well, the money is secure. Is guaranteed growth, at least 4% on my cash value, which is great. It's higher than any rate that any bank I have is paying me for having money there. Money is available to me whenever I need it. And as long as I'm a good host of my money and pay myself back, I'm always going to have money. I'll never have to need money. So it's a very powerful tool. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I can't wait to get my other policy started. Before the end of next year, I'm going to have it, and it's going to be huge. I'm
So
listening
now,
and learning.
so now that you got the policy, you're saying is you like to use it. What is one of the best things that you say the money is protected, right? The money is protected. Yeah. What does that mean to you? The money is protected. Tell the audience what that means.
Well, it means that it's a resource that's available to me. I'm always gonna have it, and I will never have to worry about losing my money. Say if I take a loan from somewhere and I just want to hold on to it for a while, that's a guaranteed way to make sure that my money stays available, it's safe, and it's growing. So no matter what is available to me, I feel like I have more control over money in my policy than I do in my banks. Sometimes I see financial institutions manipulating dates and doing things, telling you how much money you can take out at one time, or how, they delay your deposit. Sometime if you put money in there, they'll put it in a day later, even if you had it in during banking time. I've had electronic transmittal of funds delayed, where they tried to implement monthly maintenance fee, and I'm like, hey, I never had a balance under $100, and they're like, oh, but this came in a day later, and I said, well, look, I have proof it was sent this day, and then they hurried up and reversed a $14 finance charge. I'm like, are you crazy? So these are little things I'm loving, seeing the difference in a policy that I feel like I have more control over.
And you absolutely do. You absolutely do. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Anybody else? Appreciate you. You want to share anything else before we leave?
No, I just want everybody to have a great evening and keep learning and growing.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else want to share tonight? They looking at this on YouTube right now. So anybody want to share? It will be shared on Facebook as well. Nobody else? Everybody good? Everybody happy? Okay. All right. Miss Rhonda K.
Yeah, just thank you for everything. I did learn a lot, and we're doing our best to move towards what you've suggested, and at least that's what I'm doing, and learning a lot. And you're exactly right. Most people who are in college right now, they don't know what jobs will be available when they get a degree. Most degrees will be obsolete by that time. And so the people who will make it are the people who are always advancing and learning. So you're so true about that. And there's going to have to be someone to program those automated type of things that's coming in place. But a lot of people don't want to stretch themselves to even do that. So we're really headed towards a crisis if we don't get it together. And so what I like about what you're doing, particularly with everything, but the infinite banking, and as I read up more on insurance, insurance is older than the United States. Isn't that amazing? And so it's just been around forever. And, just praying that we learn as a group or a club on how to present this information to the marketplace so that it will land on, the right ears. So I just really appreciate everything that you're doing. And personally, I'm moving forward to, I'm getting money and stuff together to get it prepared. So I'm pretty excited. So I appreciate you.
That's awesome, Rhonda K. I was having a conversation with my nephew. He happened to call me yesterday. This is one of my favorite nephews. And he sat down, I said, well, he asked me a question about real estate and some other things. I said, yeah, I got 4 houses and so. I said, remember when we all came together when my father passed away? This is in 2010. That's 9 years ago. And everybody in the family said, well, Derry, every time you come here, we're going to talk about business, so. And I said, remember, nephew, all of you kept saying that, but there's no problem asking for money. Now we're talking about 9 years later. Matter of fact, September the 10th is when my father passed away in September in 2010. And so I said back then, I said, we building something. We was walking through the process. I'm sharing everybody with the family, and everybody has a closed ear. I said, I can't speak to you because everybody has a closed ear. Even though my life in 9 years, my life has shot through to make millions of dollars. Millions. I don't look like I make millions, but I make millions of dollars. And I'm comfortable with it. And I'm excited about doing it. And guess what? I don't give family money. I give so little people in the family money. It's just very limited resources, because I says, if you want to learn, come on. And if you don't want to learn, that means you want somebody else to pay for your lifestyle. You are looking for somebody else to pay for your lifestyle. So you may go out there, spend all your money, then come back and says, hey, unc, or hey, cousin, or hey, son, or hey, whatever, and I need some money. So why do you need some money? Because you're not willing to learn how to make money. Making money is easy. Making money is asking for what you want. If Grant Cardone is he does a great thing. I'm just being honest with you. He was on stage and said, hey, what is a $100 bill? So God reached in his pocket, pull out a $100 bill, goes up to him, gives him $100 bills. He said, you see how just fast I got a $100 bill? Stuck it in his pocket. Just that fast. He said, the lesson here is you never asking for the money. You never ask for the money. And you got to learn to ask for the money. People will give you what you need to make things happen if you're going to give the great service. Who can't say what you learn in this room, in this community, that you cannot give a great service just off what we do compared to whatever else you got to offer? I'm just saying, look at all the things, look how much talent it's in this room, in our organization. We got talent out there, wazoo. You guys are talented, but you're not getting paid as though you are talented. And we got to shift that mindset, because you are talented. You just got to start asking for the money. Get it out there, let people know. But I appreciate you, Rhonda K. Just want to share that out there to people. Okay, appreciate you. You want to share anything else, or that's it?
No, that's it. You're right on the money. We just have to continue. There is one thing, I work with young people and adults, and we're just in a time where people don't want to think. They just don't want to, that something, it's called entitlement. They don't want to think, and they're entitled. And we used to think that people who were on a fixed income, I grew up on, my mom was on disability. She did the best she could. And when the government was like, hey, you can work more, my mom desired to work. So we would go and clean houses, and that's the best that she could. She didn't finish middle school. And that's what our livelihood was. But there used to be a time where they thought that only people who were on welfare or disability had an entitlement, type of thing. But that's not the case. I train people and adults, and they think that they're entitled. You're supposed to give me the money that you work for 40 hours a week, or the money that you make online. You're supposed to give me that. You're supposed to say yes when I ask you to give me money to go play bingo or something like that, So as the more I look into people, the reason why I shift on how I have been speaking to people is most people are not required to think. When kids are in school, at least here, they have a bell that tells them it's time to advance to the next class. You ask a young person what time is their first hour or fifth hour, they don't know, because we're in a system that's training you not to think. You don't have to know what time your first hour is if you have a bell that's going to ring to make you advance to your second hour and your third hour. And so a lot of our students are dealing with mental illness, but they don't have mental illness. They have a don't think issue, because when you make a person think, you're holding them accountable. And so people aren't accountable and they fall out on you. So many kids, they have anxiety and because they're being required to think. So what I have learned from you and, you know, in the videos and things that I'm watching in the members area, this is the reason why the infinite banking system and financial freedom and all of these different things, it has gone over people's heads. It's right there in front of them, but they don't think. Earl Nightingale said that in The Strangest Secret, the biggest problem of men and women is they don't think. So as I was thinking about that, we just have to continue to, you know, get in front of people and, you know, approach them differently, because everyone, they do need this information and we need it because of how the world is going. So again, I appreciate you and we're all on it. Yes, we are. We're all on it.
Awesome. Appreciate you. Anybody else want to share before we go? Everybody good? Okay. Well, guys, listen, it's been a pleasure. If you got any shout outs you want to do, shout out to your team or whatever, you could do that. Just for the folks out there getting policies, we are still working on the policies. I do not control, like give you an example, Jeans just came back. There's some people that got him before Jean, and Jean been waiting about a month now, and some people still waiting to get theirs done even before Jean's got his back. So I just want you guys to know that it does take some time to get going, but it will come. Don't assume that you won't qualify for the insurance. Never assume that you're not going to get it. They will work. Their whole goal is to get you funded, to get you to say, hey, not funded, let's rephrase that, but to get you a contract with that company, because that's how they make money. So their whole goal is to make sure that you can get the insurance. So no matter if you got diabetes, no matter if you got high blood pressure, you may have cancer that you had in the past, as long as cancer's been 5 years ago, you should be good to go. Just keep rocking it out, guys. Don't assume that you can't get it, right? The biggest challenge when it comes to insurance is, can you afford it? Like, what are you asking for? The biggest challenge on your part is to get the right policy. To get the right policy is the biggest challenge to people that's out there on the internet land, because there's so much information, a lot of wrong information, believe it or not, is out there. And I just go back and listen to, by me being an agent and by me looking at the way the policies are written, and to know the good and the bad, and you can hear it when they giving you these awesome illustrations, but no actual payouts. It's like crazy. It's literally crazy. But that's one of the main problems in insurance. And even though a person may know the right thing to do, don't mean they're gonna do the right thing for you. And what do I mean by that is, if you got the right policy, that means you should have something that is going to be 10 times the cash flow that you could 10x it. So if you want a $50,000 policy, your premium is only $5,000 a year. If you want 100,000, your premium should only be $10,000 a year. Whatever the death benefit is based on your age and your rating. Everything else, the cash value is going to be pretty much close to the same, male or female or corporation. Go ahead, Hugh. Hugh and Regina, how you doing?
We're doing great, sir.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Just wanted to ask a quick question. So when I get my policy in particular, can I use my same health check to do a Keyman policy later?
Most likely the answer is yes.
So it's still within that year window, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Unless they want something, unless you're going to go outside the parameters. Like, for example, let's say, hey, you qualify for $3 million. And you say, you know what? I want a $7 million policy. I want a $7 million death benefit, 7 million. And it says, okay, for that, you may have to do an EKG. Remember, mine came back and said, hey, you got to do an EKG. So I said, okay, I got to do the EKG. I already did a health rating, but the Onyx came back and says, hey, you got to do an EKG. So they came in and I had to do 2 health checks and I got an EKG done. Right?
Okay, got it.
So the whole goal is to do the best you can while you can. The younger you are, the better it's going to be. That's the point. The younger you are, the better it's going to be. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you for that as always. And thank you for all this pertinent, incredible information. And just a quick side note, if anybody's listening to this for the umpteenth time, I keep saying, I sound like a broken record. Get off the fence, fall off the fence. This is the best. This would be the best decision you will have ever made in your entire life. I promise you that. I can't say it more plainly, more simple than that. If you're worried, if you're scared, if you're afraid, you know what? You can be all that, but be on the other side and be all that. You know, this man here and this team and everyone here, you hear the sincerity, you hear their hearts. This is real information, this is real life, and we're trying to change people's lives for the rest of their lives. I know my life has been changed and it's constantly changing because I'm implementing the lessons and the information that this man has been so passionate about giving us on a daily basis. It's all in our back office for a small membership fee. You want to say something?
Yes, and you know, when you look at millionaires, and not everybody in the world is going to be millionaires, but when you talk to millionaires and you ask them how they got there, they're going to tell you their story on how many times they lost businesses, how many opportunities that they thought was going to make it that didn't, how they lost maybe their house, their car, even maybe their family, gone bankrupt. They'll tell you their story on all that they went through until they decided to take another chance on another opportunity, and that was the one. But they had to take that chance on that next opportunity. And that's what this is. This is that next opportunity that you have to take a chance at. There's so many of us here on the line. We're not here just by happenstance, just because, you know, we all look good. It is because we're in an opportunity that is growing and flourishing and is taking us by the hand and walking us through the process to eventually become a millionaire. So you have to take that chance and step out there. It's all by faith. Everything is that we do is by faith. You get in an Uber, that's by faith because you don't know that driver. But you have to, but you know you're going to get into that Uber to get to your destination. You know you need to get into this club to take you to that next destination.
I want to leave you with this quick note. If you are teetering and not sure, do some quick internet research. 3 Feet from Gold is an incredible story. If you read that story, it should shake you a little bit. 3 Feet from Gold. It's a real simple premise. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Wall Street, as always. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate you guys. You know, one of the main things is you said that everybody can't be a millionaire, but everybody in this club could be. Everybody in this club could be a millionaire. Why? One is because you're learning to control all your finances and put it back in your control. And you're learning to warehouse your money so that it cycles with you for the rest of your life. For the ones that got the policy and the ones that's about to get the policy, realize this, that your money is cycling with you over and over again for the rest of your life. So when I showed you my debt, I had like $200,000 in debt. Before that debt is paid, the whole $200,000 would be in my policy. Think about it. Before, if you knew exactly what all the bills you had to pay, and let's say it was 200,000 or 150,000. Let's say your house, right? I'm talking to include your house, your cars, your credit cards. Let's say all those bills added up to about $200,000. And if you follow this example, the entire $200,000 would be in your policy before it was paid back out to all those creditors, and growing at a guaranteed 4%, but close to 6% per year for the rest of your life. That is powerful. That is powerful. Just think about what I'm saying. You can't, I don't care how much real estate you buying. I don't care how much you can add this to what you're doing. I don't care what you sell, what clubs you are part of, or what companies you're a part of. You still need this strategy a part of your life, because that's what it's doing. It's helping you put the funds back in your control. Before you pay all those membership fees, that money should already been in your policy, come back out of your policy to pay the $99 or to pay the $49 or to pay the $350, whatever your fees are. That money should be recycled back into your policy over and over and over again. All right, anybody else before we get out of here? Anybody else want to add to this? Hopefully you're getting it. Hopefully this is making sense to you. Financial freedom is a choice. It is not your privilege. The world doesn't care how broke you are, and the world doesn't care how rich you are. Doesn't care. Your wealth to me doesn't mean a hill of beans. Shaq's wealth to me doesn't mean nothing. Grant Cardone's wealth to me doesn't mean anything, right? Doesn't mean nothing. My wealth to you doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean nothing to you. You need to get your own wealth growing. Get it growing. Stop looking for somebody else to foot the bill for you. That's a whole lot of folks out there. That's hitting home for some people. They want you to foot their bill. Foot my bill for me, please. Please pay this bill for me. Please pay this bill for me. Pay this bill. I can't do it. Pay this bill. Why you can't do it? Oh, I don't have the money. That's not why you can't pay it. You not learn how to get the money. You got to learn how to get the money. You got to learn how to get the money. You got to learn how to get the money. You learn how to grow. You learn how to grow the cash flow that can pay you and start this process what we're teaching you to do for the rest of your life. Now that Cecilia has a policy, Josephine has a policy, Amber has a policy, Jean is getting ready to get the policy, Miss Amber about to get the policy, Eddie and LaWanda about to get the policy. Now these policies are coming in. Don't let this work happen for you. The policy got approved and then you don't fund the policy. You get the policy and you don't fund the policy. You're not. I don't want to use the word that I really want to say. I don't want to use that word because we really public right now. We on YouTube. If I was in our room, I'll be saying something totally different. But how you gonna get the policy, all this work done for you, and then you don't fund it, and then you still paying bills, and you still not paying yourself? That's not the scope and what we're teaching you to do. I'm done with that. Let me shut up. Anybody else want to say anything before we go? Because I can go on that topic. Anybody else want to say anything before we get out of here? Everybody's good? Appreciate you. Hey, Miss G, how you doing? Hey, Cheryl, Ed LaWanda. All right, guys. Listen, Miss Angie, I see you out there. Janice King, got you. Travis, Bain, Miss Georgia. You guys take it easy for the rest of your day. See you guys tomorrow in the trade room at 9:30. Let's go ahead and make this thing happen. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be easy, light, easy day. You guys take care. God bless. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Night,
everyone.
all.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Right.